Duke has just landed another 5-star recruit as Jon Scheyer continues to recruit players at a very, very high level, and we got to break it all down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Duke Basketball 365. Guys, if you're a Duke Blue Devil basketball fan, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. But getting into the news for today, the Duke Blue Devils have gotten a commitment from 5-star recruit Cameron Williams for the class of 2026. Breaking down what he looks like as a prospect, Cameron Williams is a power forward standing 6 feet tall, 11 inches, weighing 200 pounds, coming out of St. Mary's High School in Phoenix, Arizona. Like I said earlier, class of 2026. He is labeled as a power forward and plays like a power forward, but 6'11" is center height. But you would expect him to stay at the power forward position and just be an overall menace to anyone standing in the Duke Blue Devils way. He comes in as a prospect rated on 24/7 Sports as a 99.8. Absolutely insanely high. That number is out of a 1.0. So a 1. So that's like a 99.8 out of 100, not a 0.99. Nationally ranked as the number 4 recruit in the country, power forward out of Arizona. Like I said before, where he's going to fit in, he's going to be Duke's starting power forward for the 2026-2027 season after Cameron Boozer presumably one and done and heads over to the NBA. Now, Cameron Boozer is, I'm sure everyone watching this video already knows this, but is a mortal lock to be a one and done and head over to the NBA draft after this college basketball season is up. The question is, who else is going to stick around? So how is the rotation going to look big man wise when it comes to the bigs? Now, Williams will be that starting power forward, but there are questions between, is Nik Khamenia going to come back? Patrick Gongba is in his sophomore season with the Duke Blue Devils, but he is getting real draft buzz going into the season as a 6'11" guy himself, who is currently our center. But there are a whole lot of questions being asked, like how is Cameron Williams going to fit into this Duke Blue Devil, offense? How is he going to fit with the players around him? But that's not the right question to ask. This is a player who is so good that you fit the rest of the offense around him. Last season, Jon Scheyer said the reason why he went out into the transfer portal and the way he picked out Sion James out of Tulane and Malik Brown out of Syracuse, he said he looked at the star players already on his team, aka Cooper Flagg, and figured out what kind of players would be perfect to fit next to Cooper Flagg and who do you put around that player to build out the most full team instead of just go out and find the best player possible. And we can expect Jon Scheyer to do the exact same thing once Williams comes in. He's going to put together a roster around that player. When you bring in the number 4 recruit in the country, that is a player that is so talented that you need to bend the rest of the roster around them instead of making them fit into whatever position fits your scheme or whatever position fits whatever your team already has cooking. We're going to pair him with, Caleb Foster is going to be the starting point guard for next year. You would imagine having one more year, I believe, of eligibility. Does Caleb Foster? Slim, going to be moving on to the NBA if this season goes as well as we expect it to go for him. But it is great to see the fact that now that Coach K, the number 1 recruiter in college basketball when he was the head coach, now that he moves on, the Duke recruiting train has not slowed down in the slightest. Jon Scheyer has taken over the mantle as a guy who is clearly an elite recruiter. Just looking at last year as an example, bringing in Kama Malawash, recruiting Cooper Flagg, the number 1 all-world recruit that Cooper Flagg was, as well as Con Knipple. That is a class reminiscent of a couple of years ago back in 2018 when Coach Mike Krzyzewski brought in that big 3 with Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, and RJ Barrett, and Joey Baker, and Trey Jones. People forget about those last 2 names, but that was just such a star-studded class. So you would expect Duke, the recruiting for our team, to fall off a little bit after Coach K moves on to whatever he's doing with his life now. He moves on into retirement, but nope. Jon Scheyer has picked up exactly where Mike Krzyzewski left off and is not letting Duke go behind. Now, Duke, he being the coach at Duke, he does have some extra stuff going his way. in the era of NIL, Duke has a lot of money to pay recruits, and we have the history behind the program and so much funding from boosters. Just the brand that is Duke basketball is always going to be the strongest brand in all of college basketball, as well as players grow up looking at Duke and they say, yo, I want to play there when I grow up and turn into like a fully, when I'm coming out of high school, I want to play for that team. And that's another advantage that we have when it comes to recruiting. One of the many reasons why we have been able to recruit so well over the past couple years. But bringing in this guy, it's extremely exciting. Most likely going to be our number 1 recruit for the 2026 recruiting class. But hey, number 4 in the country, it's very tough to do better than that. There are only 3 options better. We will take it. We will absolutely take it. But that's what I got for this video. If you stuck around, please. First of all, if you stuck around, thank you for watching the video. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Duke.